Alright, so we're checking out the ENGWE E26 electric bike in this video. This is the step-through version. There's another one that's called the high-step version that has a bar across the top here that makes it a little bit harder to get on and off. The step-through version does make it a little bit easier to hop on and off the bike. This one, as the name implies, 26-inch wheels, and these are fat tires. So we got the Chaoyang branded 26 by 4-inch knobby wheel fat tires. In the back here, we have a 1,000 watt 48 volt motor. It's 1,000 watt peaks. I believe it's 750 nominal. We've got a Shimano Churney 7-speed derailleur here in the back. The battery in here is built into the frame, kind of nice looking here, and it is a 48 volt 16 amp hour battery, and they're estimating a range up to 87 miles. So of course you can charge the battery inside the frame. There's a charge port on the other side. And then if you want, you can take the battery out. There's a key that's included that can unlock the battery and remove it. Got a fairly standard front fork suspension here with a lockout and adjustment. Really huge front headlight. Let's see how bright that is. And then you have this rear rack with a rear taillight, brake light. The fender in the back was already installed. The fender in the front had to be installed with the front wheel. It is metal. The rear fender here, I noticed, was rattling because the screw right here is kind of loose, and so I put some foam there that was included with the packing material, and that solved the rattling problem. That went away. Here's a look at the seat. Fairly wide, not too firm. I think it should be pretty comfortable. Seat height is adjustable, of course, and I'll put up the rider height here on the screen. And just taking a quick look around the frame, quite visible in terms of the welds here. They're smooth, but they're pretty large, and you can kind of tell they're kind of all over the place here. The bike itself feels pretty solid. I think 6061 aluminum, nice powder coated matte finish here. This is the green color and does come in gray and I think a yellow, I believe. Taking a quick look at the handlebar here, this is kind of straight across here. You do have this sort of zoom arm. You can adjust the height if you want. Standard rubber ergonomic grip. Got your bike controller here, plus and minus for your pedal assist, on off button here, and then your menu buttons here. And pretty standard Shimano SIS shifter here on the right side. And then we have a half twist throttle here on the right handle. Got hydraulic disc brakes here on the front and the rear. And the rotors here are 180 millimeters. I don't know the branding of the disc brakes. And here is the charge port here on the other side. So putting the bike together, fairly straightforward. I'll put a link to the assembly guide that ENGWE put together. It's a pretty good video. I'll link that in the video description, but essentially it's a lot like most other e-bikes. You have to put on the handlebar, and then you have to twist around the front arm here in the front. It's going to be twisted around now. They have to tighten down the screws here, these 3 screws, and then make sure it's square with the wheel. Got to put the fender and the front headlight on along with the front tire. Do have to install the rear rack here on these 2 screws on both sides, and then also the rear brake light. And that's pretty much it in terms of assembly. Again, I'll put the link to the assembly video down in the video description. All right, so that's your cover for all the features and specs on the bike. Let's go ahead and do the speed test and the riding test. I'll give you my thoughts on the bike as I'm riding it around. All right, I'll start off with the pedal assist test level 1. And I'm not sure if it's going to come out on the camera or not, but you can kind of hear the front brake rubbing. Probably needs an adjustment. So in level 1, I'm going about 9 miles an hour. Level 2, it's like a little over 11. Put it up to 3. 18 and a half. Level 4. 22. 23. Alright, let's go to level 5. I am freewheeling a little bit. 22.23. 24. Alright, so stick it back down to 1. And just hit throttle only. And it doesn't matter what level of pedal assist you're in. It's going to give you the maximum speed. 23.8, 24, 23.8. So you maxed out about 23.8 on throttle only. Alright, so just a quick assessment here of the riding characteristics. As expected, very smooth. You got the front fork suspension, and surprisingly, the seat push suspension is actually working better than expected. It does seem to sag a little bit with my weight. I'm a bit of a heavier rider, but it does a pretty decent job, and the seat is pretty comfortable. So when you're pedaling around, the cadence sensor does freewheel after it reaches a certain speed that's expected, and I believe all the bikes for ENGWE have the cadence sensor. Other than the front brake kind of rubbing a little bit, which is a pretty simple fix. It needs an adjustment, which I normally don't do. I just put the wheel on and go ride it. The bike seems very smooth and doesn't make any noises or anything. Battery doesn't rattle on this model because it's not an internal battery. And as I mentioned during the build part of the video, the rear fender did rattle initially, but I just put some foam in there between the frame and the fender, and the rattle went away. The front fender does not rattle at all, so very silent. You can probably hear that airplane ahead over any kind of a bike noise that the bike is making. So when you just use the motor only, you can't hear the motor. It is, when you got full power, it is pretty noticeable. You can hear it. It's a pretty loud motor. But if you just pedal assisting on a lower level, it's not that loud at all. So if you're going a slower speed where the motor isn't providing full power, you can barely hear the motor at all. It's only when you're on throttle at full power with the motor noise just kind of come in. It's not bad, just something worth noting. Anyway, overall, for another nice model from ENGWE, again, this does come in 2 versions and several colors, so check out the website and see which one is more appropriate for you. Anyway, that's going to cover for this video. Link in the video description if you guys want to check it out. There might be a discount code or a coupon code down there. If you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys in the next video.